So now I'm going to go a little bit deeper into our most important job. And if I haven't conveyed that clear enough yet, I'm going to test you. What's our most important job? Prayer. To love God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. And that comes through prayer. You got to work that muscle, right? We're working out. We're working out the heart and soul muscle. And that happens in prayer. Teresa of Avila, my favorite saint, says, "Too comfortable a life and prayer don't go together." So you're going to have to stir things up a little, ladies. Stir it up. All right, remember the story of Mary and Martha in Scripture? Jesus says to her, Martha was distracted by her many tasks. Do we get distracted? Yes. Are we going to let the world distract us? What are our enemies? The world, the flesh, and the devil? Don't let the world be the number one enemy, right? It's enough to have to work on the other two. We can control some anyway of the world. Okay, we can't control the flat tire and things like that, but some of it is in our control, and we are commanded to take control of it. So Martha was distracted by her many tasks. She came to the Lord, and said, "Don't you care that my sisters left me to do all the work by myself?" So she's scolding God. Don't you care? You're supposed to care. She's too comfortable with him to scold the Lord, right? I mean, he came to her house often. This was his stop on the way. It was Mary, Martha, and Lazarus' house. This was his home away from home, which was what? Nowhere to lay his head. The birds have a nest, but he has nowhere to lay his head. So this was his second home. Or maybe his first, right? Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. She was comfortable with him. She was used to having this entourage at her house. And she had a certain way of doing things, and that was the right way to do it, right? When you have company, like you're getting ready for Christmas, you use the certain dishes, and everything has to be just so. And we might take our eye off of what's most important. I can just see Martha, she's in the back. The disciples are coming, and she's making rosettes out of the vegetables or something, right? Mary, come and help me. You need this. Your place is in the kitchen. What are you doing at the feet of Jesus? That's what the men are in there. You're supposed to be here. Can you just imagine Mary? She knows her place. She knows her place was in the kitchen. She's probably on the outside, and she's listening. And then Jesus kept talking, and she's really interested, and she probably got a little closer, and because she loves God, right? Love wants to be with the one whom they love. And she's getting closer and closer. And the next thing she knows, she's on the floor, sitting at his feet. And the disciples are probably a little convicted, thinking, what she's right. Maybe we should pay a little closer attention too, because maybe they got comfortable with the Lord too, and they didn't listen as intently. So she's at his feet, and that's the position we should have, right? Of intently listen, this submissive, open, teach me. We're listening, but how many times do we go to the Lord and we're doing all the talking? This is what I need, and you have the laundry list of things that you want, which is fine. Go through your laundry list of desires and needs and present it to the Lord, right? He says, ask, seek, knock. He wants you to do that, and he wants you to knock hard and be persistent. But there's a time for that, and there's a time to be quiet too. And if you only schedule time to do the knocking, the seeking, the asking, you don't schedule the time to do the listening, the quiet, and the being with him, then it's a lot harder to receive. And he's the great one. He's the one with much to give. And he's the one with so much that he wants to tell you. And you're not showing up to listen. Schedule it in. Listening time with you. Don't even call it prayer. Call it listening time with Jesus. You could, if your mind goes crazy, like Teresa of Avila used to call it, her mind was a madman. Wild horses going on. Then have a prayer book. Have some scripture that you're reading a little bit of, and then when your mind goes, let it go. As long as it's going to go. You don't have to finish the scripture. You don't have to finish the whole page in the meditation book. It's a temptation for you. I know it's a temptation for me, because sometimes what you're reading is so good. You want to get to the bottom of it and read it all, right? But that's study time. That's not prayer time. There's time for study, just like there's a time for knocking, seeking, asking, but there's a time for listening and being with the Lord. So when you're reading whatever it is you're meditating on and something grabs you, stop and let it go and take you as far as it will go. And then when you're starting to think of what you should have bought at the store that you didn't buy at the store, then okay, come back. Right? As soon as you catch yourself, hey, I'm not on task here. I'm not with the Lord anymore. I'm in the grocery store. Then you come back, and then you finish reading until something else grabs you. And you may never get to the end. But how long do you think you should spend in this prayer time? Maybe think, how much time do you have? Or, a priest will tell you, because he's desperate to get you praying for any amount of time, he'll start with 10 minutes. Just give him 10 minutes, right? But that's for a beginner. That's for somebody who he just wants to get started in this quiet prayer time. A spiritual director, like let's say you're going regularly and you're actually trying to really make progress in the spiritual life, minimum half an hour. But my challenge to you ladies is, what does the Lord say in Scripture? He says, could you not spend 1 hour? All right, God, that's a lot in my schedule. 1 hour. So maybe we can call that the goal. We're not there yet. But maybe when our lives open up a little bit, the kids grow up and we don't have the full-time job or whatever, maybe we can progress to it. I'm just throwing it out there, ladies. It's something to think about, okay? But if you've never done it before, please, 10 minutes, you'll see you won't want to leave. Schedule a half an hour, stay at least 10 minutes, you won't want to leave. Because there's no better place to be than with the Lord. There really is no better place to be. And if you're there falling asleep, and if you're there thinking, I'm not really getting anything out of this, this is really a waste of time. My mind is too distracted. Remember your intention. Your intention is to just love the Lord. Say, Jesus, I'm here because I love you. Not for what I'm going to get out of this, but because I love you. And that's it. And then it's never wasted time, right? And then as the Lord fills you, you can go out in the world and give. We are mothers, we are wives, we are sisters, we are daughters. We have a lot of people depending on us. A lot of people to take care of. Our boss, sometimes our boss is a big baby. You got to take care of him, right? And then the coworkers, they're emotionally mess. And on your lunch is spent counseling, right? So how can you give what you don't have? Go to the Lord, get filled up. Fill yourself first. Right? When you're on the airplane, it's going down. Right? You've been there. Okay? Put the mask in your own face first so you can help the next person. Take care of your own soul first so that you can nurture and pray for all those that are important in your life.